Okay, welcome everyone. My name is Mark, and this is the fifth video in my series of Ask Mark D, the Ask Mark D show. And today we've got Claudio on call. He's from Germany, and he's asking Mark, I think I've got metabolic damage, or my metabolism is sort of not working because I'm not losing weight and I'm very low in calories, and all this stuff is going on. So if you're interested in that, stay tuned. Let's find out. Claudio, my friend, welcome to the call for the live coaching session. If you would just take like 1 minute to introduce yourself and so on and so
Yeah,
forth.
I'll give you a little assessment of myself. I'm 24 years old. I'm 174 centimeters in height, and I'm like 16, about 15 to 16% body. Pretty overweighted. I used to be pretty fat at like 86 kg, so that's like a little chubby.
Yeah.
I'm working out regularly 3 times a week. Got a pretty detailed and great training protocol. On my off days, I'm using like stretching and triggering sessions and low intensity cardio. Sleep schedule is okay, and my nutrition is like 85 to 90% vegan. But I got everything dialed out pretty well. So macros and micronutrients are all checked. So I've got a problem. When I'm on cut, I need to go way below the normal deficits. It's like 500 to 700 to 800 calories in a deficit, and my weight is very inconsistent even then. My idea was that I might have caused some metabolic damage because I only started to really dial in my macronutrients and micronutrients about a year ago, last year, December. And my idea to rehab that probable damage was that I eat at maintenance level for like up until like March of next year. But even when I slowly increased my calories to the now maintenance level, about 2,200 calories per day, I'm still gaining weight. Like most of it is water, but I also noticed a bit of fat gain, and that worries me. And I don't know how to. Yeah, I don't really know what to do. I'm tapping in the dark. Do you have any idea how to fix metabolic?
Yeah, so first of all, the things with metabolic damage, that is pretty severe, and it's probably not easy to self-diagnose in a way. So everything you told me so far, I got a couple more questions for me to that I understand it properly. So when you say 2,200 is your maintenance, is that when you're cutting, would that mean you're cutting on 1,400 calories?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's
So
shitty.
yeah, that's not good at all. I mean, 1,400 is probably even below your BMR, your basal metabolic rate, which is you should, if you tap under that, so if you are at that point where you can't lose weight below the BMR, means definitely your metabolism is sort of a bit out of whack.
Well,
But that is nothing to really worry about. So what like give me sort of an idea, how long have you been in your cutting phase, and how long are you in your maintenance, or let's say bulking phase?
okay, cutting phase started at about January of this year. I then proceeded to cut weight until July, until the end of July. When heading into August, I tried to go into a bulk, but I noticed that I gained weight way too quickly, even above the normal water weight gain. It just happened too quickly, and it didn't feel right for me. So I dialed that back. Went on a mini deficit. I ate like 1,900 calories, so it's almost maintenance level to sort of like level on that thing. And then I thought to myself that maybe it would be a wise idea to eat at maintenance level for a few months, just so my body can like recuperate from the problems. And before that, before January, I didn't really have an idea on how much to eat, and it might be that I ate way too less and way too regularly for my size.
Yeah. So what normally happens, or it sounds like when you go from January to July in a cut, is nearly 6 months, right? More or less.
Yeah.
So 6 months, if you're 6 months in a deficit of 1,400 calories or even less, I don't know, what happens is obviously your metabolism shuts down. You're not able to really gain any strength because obviously you're in deficit. So I assume that your workouts were quite shitty.
Well, they weren't that shitty, and I was surprised myself.
Okay.
But I think I might have had some newbie gains.
Right.
The serious my serious love for sport and such, it just started last year.
Okay. Well, fair enough. When you start working out and obviously you are able to gain muscle and lose weight, maybe even in a deficit, that should be all right. But generally, what happens in a phase of being too long in a deficit, obviously, as you probably know, your metabolism slowly goes down, even more down, and the problem with that is to be able then to lose more weight, you would either need to cut more calories or increase your output in terms of workouts, and that is probably not really an option.
No, it isn't.
Yeah, so the other thing
Not
is,
a,
give me some symptoms of throughout the day. Would you have you been tired throughout the day? Are you tired generally?
well, my sleeping schedule could be better. It's not that bad. I've got an average of about 6.5 hours a night, sometimes more, sometimes a bit less, depending on my feeling. Um, Tiredness is pretty okay. I'm doing intermittent fasting. I've been doing it since January, and only now because of the amount of food I have to eat, I stopped it. But I've been doing it up until last week. My energy levels are okay. I'm not feeling like low on energy on afternoon. I don't have anything to complain about, to be honest.
This might be a quite weird question, but it's related to your testosterone. Do you have like the male urge of having, what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you're aiming at. Um, I knew that when I go too low in calories, my hormones will suffer, and I tried to work against that by increasing my fat intake. So my macros are like, I think, about 40% fats, and aside from being amazing for hormones, I didn't suffer anything. My girlfriend has nothing to complain. Let's put it that way. And I'm not feeling bad. I'm not sad. I'm not like I feel fine, to be honest.
Okay.
Even when I'm in deficit, aside from my mood being like I don't like being hungry.
Okay. I mean, to be fair, there will be. I mean, your overall goal is what in a nutshell? What do you want to?
I want to, of course, I want to put on a little bit of muscle. I'd like to be very athletic. My endurance is pretty nice. I'm boxing, so this helps quite a bit. But I like to put on some size. I'm now wearing like S or M in terms of size. I like to go to M up to L maybe. So I think I'd be fine at like 10 to 13% body fat and about 75 kilograms. That's my goal for the
Okay.
next, let's say, 2 to 3 years.
I mean, then it is quite simple what you have to do, really. And this is, in a way, it might be a bit scary, but you have to be in a surplus for sure. You will have to eat more. Now, the way you describe it is you eat more and you start gaining fat, right? I mean, that's the scarcity you have. Now, the thing is, though, that is normal when you're in a very low, when your metabolism went down. And to kickstart that again, it's not like a engine of a car where you put in petrol and all of a sudden it's a Porsche and you've got full blast.
Yeah.
Your metabolism also needs some time to kickstart again, which means you will be for a certain sort of, it depends on the person, can be anything from 2 to even 6 weeks time. you will be in this state where you feel a bit puffy and so on and so forth. But if you then still go to the gym and hit your workouts really hard, you will be able to lift heavier also, and to build muscle because you're in a surplus, and then your metabolism will kickstart, and sort of, it's a bit like a mini shred in a bulk, if that makes sense. So all the water and stuff will go away. I mean, this is something you just have to deal with, especially with people. I deal with, normally women have metabolic damage because they've been dieting over 10 years, something, have been in a deficit, and they say, Mark, nothing works. You know, thyroid is fully effed and so on. So that is something I would definitely do if I were you.
Okay, that's a good idea. It's quite scary for me because, as I said, I used to be quite fat, in my eyes at least, and I really hated it. I didn't feel good in my body, and I got like severe self-image issues from that. I think I ditched that. It's okay now, but it's still quite a tough thing for me to deal with.
Yeah, I mean, two other things. How old are you again? You are
24.
24. Okay, that is pretty good. Because you're still young in a way where you're, let's say, also because you just started lifting. So if you've got the right lifting program, you still have the potential to gain the maximum amount of muscle you are still able to gain, which is great. And the other thing is I want to talk to you about is your macronutrient split. I would probably decrease the fat to something like 20% and increase your carbon and protein intake, just because to see how you respond to a different macronutrient split, because you've been doing this one now for a while, and that's
for about 2 months. I've tried different combinations before, okay, because I'm a curious person.
Sure.
And I think because of the low calories, I love the higher fat intake.
Sure.
To be honest, as a vegan, it's pretty shitty of food consumptions.
Yeah.
But I love to experience. I'm very curious.
Yeah.
So this way, I'm listening to your advice, of course.
Yeah, sure. I mean, this is just a suggestion. You have to really figure out if it works for you. I mean, the one thing you can, let me just click that way. The one thing you can do with your macronutrient split, you can actually also see maybe, have you ever had a look into, just give me an idea of the foods you're eating, like from morning to night time. I usually start eating at like 1 p.m. because of the intermittent fasting thing. Sure.
And then I'll have a salad and maybe a protein shake with almond milk, and different sources of plant-based protein. So it's just like seeds, all the stuff. And then because of work, I can't eat that much. And in the evening, I tend to eat quite a bit of food, like quite a big meal. Maybe I've got like a little, bits of stew pines. You know this stuff, quite high in protein. Yeah. I got like beluga lentils. I love that stuff. Pretty nice. Maybe some rice. Of green vegetables. I also those green tea sometimes drink. Then I'll have a few nuts, pure peanut butter. I also love that stuff. It's without added sugar, without palm oils and stuff.
Sure.
That's like my staple. I vary quite a bit. I love cooking, and I vary this quite a bit, but that's like my go-to meal.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, so my suggestion would be, obviously you will have to take some time and be in a caloric surplus. It doesn't have to be super aggressive. You can be something like 200 or 300 calories more. So if it's 2,200, you go for 2,500.
Every day? Okay.
Yeah, something like that. See how you do on that surplus. But you should maybe focus on, especially because you're a vegan, that you get your protein in. You're 0.8 grams per pound of body weight.
Yeah, I'm on that. I'm like at 0.7
Okay.
at the moment.
Well, that's fine then. And maybe
Okay.
increasing the carb fat ratio a little bit. Bring the fats a bit down, the carbs a bit more up. And then you will be able to hit the gym a bit harder. Now,
Okay.
the just give me a short breakdown of your gym workout routine. What do you have? What are you
Yeah,
doing?
it's phased. I started a new schedule. Do you know Kino Buddy?
Yeah.
I think you know it. I used those. They are great. They are very basic, but they're very good and they're very smart programs. But I'm now utilizing MAPS. I don't know if you have any idea of it. MAPS programs are phased. You've got a strength phase. It's 3 weeks, 3 weeks phases. The exercises are pretty much the same. So you got the compound lifts like squats, barbell squats, deadlifts, bench, incline bench, and blah. And after 3 weeks, the phase changes. So instead of going for like the 80% max times 4, you go to 8 to I think 10 or 8 to 12 reps in general. And after that, the phase I'm now in is more focused on sarcoplasmic hypertrophy. So it's a 12 to 15 rep range. Some are less, some are more. And after that, I again go for the strength phase.
Okay.
So the higher weight.
Sure. Yeah, I mean, generally speaking, I don't want to talk about if it's good or not. Everyone has to figure out what they like doing.
You can. I'm always open for suggestions.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I haven't seen his program, so I have no idea what he's doing. But having phases obviously makes sense in terms of training phases, depending also what your goal is. But generally speaking, less volume, higher rep ranges, compound lifts make sense. If you train for strength, you will always have a hypertrophic effect. So the thing is, I mean, I found that the rep range is 4 to 6 is sort of, I think, the best way to go, because it's not just powerlifting, it's also not just hypertrophy training. It's focusing on building strength, getting strong in those 4 key lifts, and really going for that, and then making your program around that in a push-pull leg sort of session. But again, this is preference. It comes down to what do you like, But generally, when it comes to it's 2 things. It's your diet and it's your workout at the end of the day, plus your sleep. If you're getting 6 hours, you might want to see that you can get 8 hours of sleep, just because
It's tough for me. That's like the biggest building block in my life. I have trouble finding sleep. I do everything I can to find sleep. I'm not stressing out, but I really try to get the proper amount of sleep. But I'm a little bit hyperactive. Not just a little bit. I'm quite hyperactive since I was a child, and yeah, it's quite tough to deal with sleeping for me.
Yeah, I mean, one thing, do you know the app Sleep Cycle? Have you heard of that? No. Okay.
No.
So Sleep Cycle is a free app you can download on your phone, and it will monitor your sleep. It will show you how often you go through. A sleep cycle is 90 minutes, and you have something like light sleep and REM sleep. REM sleep is the very, very deep sleep, and that's the sleep when you recuperate. That's when your hormones balance out. That's when your metabolism gets going, because that's the time when you repair and when growth and so on happens. But if you have a light sleep, so let's say after your 6 hours, when you wake up, do you feel like fully refreshed, or do you feel like you could have a bit more?
No. No.
No, not at all.
I'm like, I always jump up. My girlfriend is annoyed by that, but I always jump up and like do a little bit of movements and go showering, all the stuff.
Right.
But to be honest, I feel quite shitty when I wake up.
Sure.
Almost every night.
Okay. I'm just aware of time. We just need to wrap it up a little bit. So
Yeah.
just to recap, what I would do is if I were you, I would look at my nutrition, would bump it up to maybe 2,500 calories, see how you go, monitor your weight, the way you look in the mirror, change your macronutrient split around, less fat, a bit more carbs, make sure you're on point with your protein. And maybe that's just a suggestion of mine, is focus more on heavy lifting and compounds rather than going into trying out the let's say the rep ranges 8 to 12 and then even 15 to 20. I mean, I heard people talk about this, but the thing is, you're not at that stage yet because you haven't built the amount of muscle. So this whole thing of, let's say, sculpting isn't there because you haven't got the size yet. So you want to make sure that you increase that size first. And what you then do after sort of a 10-week program or something, then you do a bit of a deload. So you really hit it hard for a certain amount of time in a calorie surplus. And because your tendons and everything, joints will probably be under a lot of stress because of that high intensity, you then have a bit of a deload, maybe 2 to 4 weeks where you lift like 10-20% less, still keep your compounds going, and then you go into the next sort of bulking phase. But at that time, you still keep your calories up, you don't go down. And then the last thing I would do, I would download the Sleep Cycle app. It's called Sleep Cycle. It's like a orange app. Put it next to you and just, it tells you basically what to do. It monitors your sleep, and just make sure that whatever you need to do, look a bit into sleep in general. Like make sure it's blacked out. Nothing is, that you're not on your phone just before you go to bed. Because the blue light emission from your laptop, from your phone, will keep you awake. Melatonin will not be secreted from your body, which is the one which gets you going. Cortisol will be up, and you're going to be hyperactive running around. So you want to make sure that...
I'm reading science journals before sleeping on paper, and I've got, except for my lamp and my alarm clock, I've got nothing in my room.
Okay, that sounds good. Yeah, so have a look at that. What helps also is eating a carb-heavy meal at night. Carbs at night induce sleep. Also magnesium, high magnesium. So you can even take a magnesium tablet. Will help going to sleep. For example, there's a supplement called ZMA. It's zinc, magnesium, and B6. You could take that at night. It helps going to sleep. That's why, for example, I'll just show you. I've got something like this. Don't know if you can see this.
Yeah, I can see it. Magnesium oil, okay.
It's magnesium oil, and it's basically a rub. You put it onto your body, you spray it on, and you just rub it in. And because it's magnesium, it will sort of go into your muscle, relax, and you will have a much nicer sleep. It's just, but
that's
you can
cool.
also...
I'll get that.
Yeah,
that's cool.
You can either buy this,
I like it.
or you get it as a tablet. It doesn't really matter. Yeah, and then that's really it.
Okay, thanks a lot, man. I've been really looking forward to it.
No worries. Is there anything else you want to say?
I'll give you a feedback per mail, like in 3 months or so.
Yeah, that would be awesome. And by the way, if you've got any questions, you can always reach me via email and reach out. Make sure that you're on point. Happy and good connecting with you.
Yeah.
And
I enjoyed that. Thank you. And have a nice evening.
Yes, you too. Take care.